Good evening and welcome to Dive Time episode 2. So how's it from Tom London? Good to have you in the studio with us. We're in the production studio, Studio B tonight, thanks to load shedding. However, here we are with some light and some audio and some cameras and some guests. Let me show you who we've got in the studio with us. We say good evening to Morné Christou, CEO of Dan Southern Africa. I've been practicing saying Dan Southern Africa for 3 days now.
Well, thank you for that, and good evening to all the listeners.
And we are broadcasting through Dan Southern Africa's page this evening, Facebook page. So thank you, Morné, for allowing us to do that.
Only a pleasure.
And we'd like to welcome the Dan Southern African Facebook page members who are watching tonight. Welcome to the show. It is an interactive show. We want you to engage with us. We want you to post your comments in the comment section. And obviously, we want you to share to friends and family. So we take the first couple of minutes and just say, well, let's go ahead and share right now. I'm going to share to Radio Today's page. We are broadcasting on Radio Today's Facebook page as well. So in a matter of seconds, we'll be saying hello to our Radio Today viewers, as well as the viewers on the Tom London page. And where else are we going, Greg? Dive Time?
Dive Time.
We've got the Dive Time page set up.
Future Reef Projects page. We'll be broadcasting across a couple.
It's a packed show tonight.
Yeah, indeed.
It's a good show tonight.
I think so.
What are we starting with?
Tom, tonight we're going to start with Morné from Dan. Morné's going to tell us, there's so much to tell us about Dan, so we're going to restrict him, and he's going to tell us the basics of Dan and their main functions.
So, you ready to go?
Yeah, let's do it.
Why not, Morné? Tell us about Dan.
So Dan, I guess, maybe just to clarify, it's Divers Alert Network, and it's the largest association dedicated to dive safety in the world. And in general, Dan's been going for almost 40 years now internationally, and Dan Southern Africa, has been around serving the diving community within our region for just over 20 years. So we've been around for a bit. So far so good, and we hopefully can continue doing the good work that we obviously offer the dive community. Now maybe just, a lot of people, when you ask them what Dan's about, the first thing they say is dive insurance. So let's not take that away. However, it's not just about the dive insurance side. And but basically, it was the first thing kind of after the hotline that got us going, and we realized from the start that divers have special needs when it comes to diving, whether it's in popular dive destinations or in remote areas. And it's not always just having the insurance or the cover for it, but also knowing how to sort of diagnose, if need be, getting people out of a tight situation. So that knowledge from our side, we've been gathering for the last 40 years, and I think we've been doing a pretty good job worldwide. Now, to complement sort of that part, the dive cover, we try and mitigate any kind of risks as best possible. And how do we do that? It's providing people with the necessary information. Whether they want to take it or not, it's up to them. But we've got a range of services available, and the one definitely is our first aid programs for scuba diving injuries. So we always say that dive safety begins with you, and if you're equipped to assist a fellow diver or buddy or yourself when there's an emergency, that goes a long way. So we've got a whole range of courses. The most popular one is the oxygen course, so that's a landmark. Some of the other stuff would be the research that we do. We like to believe that we're the leaders when it comes to dive research. And we publish on a regular basis, the studies that we do in journals, and we put them in article format. Some of the studies would be things like flying after diving, diabetes in diving, etc., etc. We also have a range of dive safety products. Our oxygen units are well known, first aid kits, and a variety of other safety gear. And this thing complements the first aid training we have, but also some of the risk and safety programs that we've developed over the years for dive professionals, but more so nowadays for dive businesses to mitigate their risk.
Okay.
Anything from not just the diving side, but also within their business, their staffing requirements, looking at their clients.
So much more than insurance now.
Absolutely. So what we're trying to do is help dive businesses and divers reduce the risk. So it's not we don't not want them to make use of the product, but you know, try and make them safer. So,
Tell me about the insurance. My brother, I think, has a policy with you.
Yeah, for many years now. It just each month, every now and again, my wife asks me, "What is Dancer?" It just
why is this coming off my account?
No, it's an absolute necessity if you are a diver to have Dan insurance. You don't want to get yourself into trouble, be it out in Mozambique or somewhere else, and you need to be evacuated.
And it's not a huge amount of money. It's $100 a month for a standard package.
Yeah, roughly, depending on which package you go. Tom, if you allow me just to clarify one thing. So most of the DANs throughout the world, whether it's Dan America, Europe, and so on, they actually had to split their organization a little bit, purely just based on the numbers of divers that are associated with the organization. So they actually have an insurance product, plus the sort of mission-driven membership side of the business. Dan Southern Africa is still the only true non-profit within the sort of world.
So you're an NPO.
We are, yes, and we actually don't sell individual insurance packages. We have a group policy, and people purchase that.
Oh, wow!
That
so it's a
policy,
scheme, a membership scheme.
Yes, absolutely. So that allows us to, you know, provide the membership with the diving emergency benefits at a very reasonable price.
Got it.
Yeah. So that's just, I mean, if people want to know more about that, they're welcome to give us a shout. Yeah, website.
Put the website address up, dancer.org is how you get there.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, we spoke about insurance, and that's obvious. It's right up there on your page. Hit the web page, we've got it. But I've seen other things. So you've mentioned training, and we'll get to that in a second. But I'm going to poke my layman's nose in your website for a second and say, you've got apparel, you've got a shop.
Yes, we've got loads of equipment available. As you can see up on the screen.
This is oxygen equipment, training equipment, first aid equipment.
So this all complements, you know, our mission to make diving safer at the end of the day. So there's a range available, and yeah, some of the kits, most probably not the cheapest around in the market, but being Dan, we always have to sort of, you know, be that one step ahead. So we want to make sure our courses and the equipment we sell are of a very high standard. So,
I saw pendants there. I saw jewelry.
Yes. So that's very interesting.
What is that?
We've partnered with Dan Europe, and they've partnered with a jeweler that actually makes these pendants. And what happens each time you purchase one of those, a small fee goes towards a fund towards there's some families that require medical funding in Europe.
So that money goes to a good cause.
Good cause. Even Africa, they've got some causes that they support. So yeah, that's our international sort of fundraising, small little products. Yeah.
Yeah, I think back quite a few years now to when I started teaching diving, and I'd run through a few PADI courses, got my teaching status and so on, and then I was looking for what more can I learn. So I did my Dan courses, and back then it was a range of courses you still offer today.
Yeah.
So the advanced oxygen provider, hazardous marine life injuries.
Absolutely, yeah.
And then one course that I think is absolutely invaluable that all dive professionals should do is the neurological assessment.
Yeah, I can't agree more.
For decompression sickness, and the knowledge I gained on those courses and then got to teach after that was.
What does that mean for the layman?
Well, okay, so Dan has
give me a practical example.
Dan has a range of courses. So from oxygen provider, because oxygen is crucial in a lot of diving injuries. So how to administer oxygen, and then the next course goes further and how to use bag valve masks and automated ventilators and so on. Then they have a hazardous marine life injury course, which is about hazardous marine life injuries. So stings, cuts, bites, abrasions.
Absolutely.
You know, there's a lot of creatures in the ocean that if you're going to go pet them, they might sting you, and some of them are quite nasty. So the golden rule of dive and don't touch, well, when you break that, then you need someone who's done a DAN course to know how to treat a sting from a lionfish or so on. And then the neurological assessment for decompression sickness. It is the only course out there that teaches you how to assess and treat decompression sickness. So again, invaluable courses, and just by doing those courses and learning that knowledge, I've been able to stay dive safe for many of years, over hundreds of dives.
Well, Greg, I'd just like to congratulate you. You still seem to have all that knowledge after these years. Yeah. If I can maybe just add to the neurological course we have, one, we don't want to make doctors, nurses, paramedics out of divers, and we don't want them to diagnose anything. But what it does do, it allows the diver to get a better idea of maybe if there's a decompression sickness problem, and when a call comes through to the hotline, you can already give all the tests through, you know. So it helps us tremendously if people understand how to do a neurological assessment using either our slate or any of the generic slates that are out there. It really goes a long way. I mean, what we've also done is we know that not everybody, wants to do a DAN course. So we've put a lot of educational materials available. So equalizing techniques, if you run out of air, how to avoid it, if it happens, what to do, dry suit diving, and a variety of other bits. And these are all available free downloads via the dansa.org website.
Oh, wow. So just pop along to dansa.org and all that information is at your fingertips.
Absolutely, yeah. So, all in all, we try and sort of provide people with the tools that they can use. And nowadays, everything is digital, easy to download. Within our region, sending stuff via the post, whether it's in South Africa or within Southern Africa, well, that's a deep dive on its own. So we try and sort of steer away from those unless people really need it. Just from the course side, it's been a while since you've actually taught those, I'm sure, Greg. But we've actually sort of updated those recently, and there's another update coming later on this year. Right. But we also now have an e-learning platform available, and sort of to get a taste for it, we've made a lot of the course content free to the public, So there's a nice platform for people to get involved with. So, yeah, go check it out, I guess.
Tell me about the hotline. How does the hotline work?
I think without a doubt, that's most probably...
what is the hotline number?
The hotline number. Okay, well, let me first tell you what the hotline is. I never forget, somebody said, you guys named that service incorrectly. The hotline might have, people guessing that it might be some other service, But definitely it's the emergency and information hotline. And I think of all the services, that's the most valuable service, not just to DAN members, but to the diving community worldwide, So that's really how DAN was started in the early 1980s. Dr. Bennett, Peter Bennett, he was a diver in the States and had a lot of guys come to him asking him about information. I'm on this medication, this is safe to dive, this happened to me. And he would then provide advice. And he then soon realized that there's a need for this kind of medical information line. And he then got a small room and a telephone at Duke University where he was working at the stage. Oh, wow. And that soon then sort of growed into an emergency kind of hotline. I'm in a jam, what do I do? And he soon realized that there wasn't really any kind of insurance type package available to assist divers. So that's where the insurance part then came about.
So it grew from the hotline.
And now it's grown, and we're actually in the process of merging all our international DAN hotline agents into a global hotline, in the way really following the sun. So when the Americans go to sleep, the Southern Africans take over the hotline.
Internationally?
So we can rely less on third-party service providers like, for argument's sake, Netcare 911 or any other call centers in the world, so that when divers phone, they're actually speaking, to divers themselves that are either medically trained and divers or have an interest in diving. So that goes a long way. Now, I guess the telephone number, that's always interesting. We do have a local South African toll-free number, but we're trying to steer away from it because toll free is kind of, you know, it's not 100% anymore because most people are making use of cell phones.
Yeah. Yes.
So I'm just going to speak to the international number, which
Sure.
you can reach regardless. And, you know, the dialing code, South African dialing code, and it's +27. And then it's 828 10 60 10.
I'm trying to here I am. I'm just trying to find the plus sign.
Okay,
here.
all right.
Okay, +27.
828
And I did have it actually. I deleted it while we spent 828
10 60 10.
10 60 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, or 082 if you're dialing out of South Africa.
Right, I got it. Okay, I'm popping it up on the screen
so I
now. So
think
it's
it's
082 810 6010 if you're in South Africa or outside. 27
I think
828 10 60
So,
10.
I think what's important there is the purpose of a hotline, because many times if we do incur an injury or so on from diving, the first sign is denial. You know, I don't feel too good, but
Absolutely.
I'll just go have a sleep and I'll sleep it off.
What do you see, Greg, as a course director when somebody's hurt themselves?
Yeah.
So well, I mean, there's a range of injuries. I don't want to scare any new prospective divers away, but the ones, so there's injuries where there's immediate reaction, pain, or so on, and then there's decompression sickness, which could take hours and hours to start manifesting itself. So normally it's 10 o'clock at night or 12 o'clock at night that I would get the phone call and say, can you please help? And so what happens is the person starts feeling a bit poorly, as the British would say, and they would try to sleep it off, and then those symptoms don't get better, they start getting gradually worse. And so that's where the hotline comes in. If you're unsure, there's a lot of tests that we run on someone that we suspect is decompression illness, and the hotline would be able to talk you through a lot of these, and if you can find 5 or 6 or 3 or 4 or 5 faults or indicators, then we know this is a bit more serious. And so fear and being scared, injury could cost money, it could end a holiday, it could end training. It keeps people from thinking, I need to check something, and that's what the Dan hotline is for.
And then you've got the little the rubber waist wristbands.
We give those people, generally giveaways, or if they want to order it, it's like $10 or something like that.
So you could phone in and say, look, I've got my buddy or it's me, and this is what I'm feeling.
I've got a headache and I just vomited.
You
shouldn't have had too
much drinking.
That was the drinking,
So, I think, Greg, if I can speak to that as well, great feedback. And I think the most common kind of injuries we get, and you as a course director and trained many open waters, advanced rescue divers, DMs, I think you can vouch for this. Generally, it's ear issues that come up. So people get an ANA, and then we need to assist them, give some advice. But I agree with you. Don't delay. If you feel something's not right, rather call. Because especially if you're in a remote area, you need to realize activating emergency services doesn't just happen. They're on standby. There's limited amount of sort of helis and air evacs available. They might be out, and if it's not a life-threatening injury, and decompression sickness is not necessarily always considered a life-threatening injury, depending on what sort of type of decompression sickness you have. But there might be more severe ones, and the helis will then rather go there, or the air thing. So it's better to phone early so we can start activating that process. Imagine today, in Joburg, load shedding. It took me from the Dan office to the studio an hour and a half, hour and 40 minutes. So imagine emergency services, need to get to where the heli or the hangar is to get out. That puts a lot of delays. And then you got things like border crossings, they close. Some remote places, they got runways, but they don't have air lights and things. Then
lots to consider putting a rescue together.
So call early. Great advice there, Greg.
All right. So as we wrap on your services, is the entry point the website? Is that how you'd like people to get
I think so. We got a Dan app and all that kind of stuff too. But the website, very mobile friendly, responsive, and all the info's there. And if you need to contact us, we got a nice live chat function there, email, phone call, whichever.
Lekker. So as you've been listening to Mornay chat this evening, know that the doors are open at Dan Southern Africa via the website or the telephone number on the website, and you can pop along to that website. The address is dansa.org. I hope you'll stay with us for the rest of it. I'm sure you've got something to contribute, Mornay, as we make our way through the rest of the Dive Time show. And thank you once again for joining us and letting us be part of your platform tonight. It's and I think it's worthwhile welcoming any international viewers that we have on board, because you are an affiliate of an international network, and it's quite possible that we'll have the Asia Pacific or North America's or Europe's European viewers on board. So wherever you're watching from, whether it's in South Africa or if you're watching from outside of the South African shores, please consider Dive Time and all this information in the show yours, wherever you find yourself in the world today. Right, what's up next?
I think we got a shop attack up next.
Okay.
Courtney and Dagan, we sent them out to the East Rand this time, and they went and shop attacked.
All right, well, let's see if we can get them. Let's get them into the shop quickly. How was the shop attack, guys? I see you becoming very popular. You're becoming the faces of Dive Time, eh?
Well, someone has to do it.
Oh, yeah. You're the only people under the age of like 40 around here, so it's your job to look pretty. All right, where did you go?
Where did we go?
Prestige
Dives in the East Rand.
All right, well, let's take a look at Courtney and Dagan as they went off to Prestige Dive.
We're here on the East Rand about to do a shop attack on Prestige Dive Store. Let's do this. Welcome to Shop Attack. We're here at Prestige Dive Centre on the East Rand, and I'm here with Rowena, the owner. Hi guys.
So tell us a bit more about what your shop has to offer.
Well, we do equipment sales. We teach people to scuba dive. We also concentrate on scuba traveling. So I arrange weekends away, take people diving down at the coast.
So tell us a little bit more about your travel and your international traveling.
Well, that's something I pride myself in. So like to do the traveling, so we take our guests to the Red Sea every year. This year we've got 2 boats full of guys going to dive the Red Sea, which is amazing. In May we're taking our guys to the Philippines, which is also an amazing dive destination. And then we cross the border every other month into Mozambique. We do our local dive sites like a little shoal and Sodwana Bay.
So word around the block is you guys are very big into your eco side. Do you want to just expand a bit more on that?
Yeah, we're trying our best to educate divers and make our divers aware of the situation our oceans are facing, the situations that the oceans are facing at the moment. So we have a club. It's every Friday. It's the first Friday of every month, where we present critters, a new critter. All the guys are talking about the plastics in the ocean, the microplastics, how us as divers can just contribute to saving our oceans. We're going away this weekend and we're doing, because it's Valentine, we're doing Love for the Ocean. We're hoping to find some turtles and educate people about how to handle turtles if they do find hatchlings hatching. And yeah, we're also trying our best to get our dive centre registered as a Mission Deep Blue centre. So we're trying our best to do our part in saving the ocean.
That's awesome. So tell us how people can get involved or in contact with you.
Well, every single Saturday morning we offer scuba tryouts. So if anyone's keen to give scuba a bash, my instructors are here with the guys in the pool. Otherwise, just pop in first Friday of every month, join our Enviro Club, be educated, and otherwise just find us on Facebook or on our telephone.
So thank you to Prestige Dive Centre and to you, Rowena. It has been a pleasure to be involved in your centre.
It's a big hello, Sani Bonan, Dumelang, Goeiemorgen or Goeienaand, and how's it from South Africa to wherever you find yourself in the world. You could be within our shores. Hello to you in Mzansi. Welcome to Dive Time 2. I'm Tom London. I'm the guy that knows very little about diving. However, I know how to press buttons. The people who know about diving are seated opposite me. Monet Christo, CEO of Dan Southern Africa, as well as Greg Holmes, Paddy, course director. We've been chatting about Dan. We've been talking about prestige diving. And then we've got an insert, once again, Sodwana makes its way onto the screens.
Yeah, so Amanda and Jock from Adventure Mania in Sodwana Bay sent us a video to promote their store. So that's our first video in. We're asking you out there, if your stores in South Africa or Southern Africa would like to promote your store, send us a short clip
on Facebook Messenger.
And we will edit it, put it together and play it. So let's go.
Everyone, my name is Samani Anderson. I've just finished my internship here with Adventure Mania. Adventure Mania is owned by Jacques and Amanda van Jaarsveld, who are two of the raid dive instructors here with Adventure Mania. Adventure Mania is the only raid dive center in Sodwana Bay, but it is also the best maintained charter in Sodwana Bay by far. At Adventure Mania we offer everything from boat rides, where people who don't necessarily want to get in the water at all are welcome to get on a boat and get the full experience of launching through the surf and a little boat ride around the back line. We also offer snorkeling trips for people who do not want to dive necessarily, but would like to appreciate the beauty of the reefs in Sodwana Bay and have a snorkeling trip. We also offer scuba diving and scuba diving courses, starting at a basic tri-dive, where you get the general introduction to diving in the ocean, and training through courses all the way up to dive master and instructors. We also have an internship program here at Adventure Mania, which I have just completed, in which you may either choose to study up to dive master or up to instructors. This internship not only gives you the highest quality of training in the water, but also exposes you to different scenarios and situations on land that are behind the scenes of working with a dive charter. From this internship you gain the full experience of what it takes to be a part of a dive charter, working as a dive master or an instructor. We also have a development phase for either qualified dive masters or qualified instructors who are looking for somewhere to put a little bit more experience on their shoulders, in which you are involved with the company and involved on the beach and involved on all the dives, given the full experience all round of what it takes to be a member of the dive industry. It's not easy work, guys. The staff at Adventure Mania, we like to pride ourselves on making sure our customers are happy at the end of their days. Okay, we give you the full experience and make sure it is the best experience possible, whether it is on the beach, on the boat, or in the water. Please guys, if you like Adventure Mania, if you like what I've told you, please go find us on Facebook, find us on Instagram. We do post daily to keep all of our clients and possible clients up to date with how we're doing and how Sodwana Bay is doing as a diving site. Please go find us on Facebook and Instagram, give us a follow and see what we're up to. Thanks guys.
And we're back in the Dive Time studio. Thank you, Adventure Mania, for sending that content through. You can send pictures or videos through to Dive Time too. It's very simple. If it's on your phone, just send it through on Facebook Messenger. Look for Dive Time, send it through to us or to Greg Holmes himself. And we'll, as Greg said, edit it, pop it up on the screen and promote your business on Dive Time. That's what the show's about. It's about creating a community of people who love diving and then promoting businesses inside that community. What's up next?
Okay, well, firstly we got some giveaways.
Yay! I love giveaways.
Absolutely. So this is a lovely aluminium or aluminum, as the Americans say, water bottle. Fantastic for hiking or anything else, the gym maybe. So if you like our Dive Time page, we're going to pick 5 of those likes and we're going to send you off one of these bottles. So if you like it, we'll contact you for an address and we will courier it off, and maybe we'll throw 1 or 2.
Yeah, we can make it plan.
Yeah, 1 or 2 Dan sunglasses in.
They're in short supply. And we like them, just by the way, they suit me.
So I just like to say, it's not just for hiking, but even on your dive trip,
Dive
you know,
too,
so stay hydrated.
Hydration is so important, absolutely.
Right, so we've got some bottles and we've got a couple of sunglasses to give away. All you have to do is hit the like button on the page, and if you've been recorded as a like, you're in the competition. We'll select a handful of people from the likes and we'll post this off to you. We'll get in touch with you. Producer Dave will be in touch with you. Where's Producer Dave tonight? We haven't seen him. Come around this side and say hello to everyone, Dave. So the guy who puts the show together and puts quite a number of our shows in the studio together is Dave Ravenstone. And you're on this camera over here, Dave. Wave hello to everybody. Now you know what Producer Dave looks like. Thank you, Dave.
Absolute pleasure.
That's it. 15 seconds of fame. Over. back to his desk. He does all the work.
I don't stress because he does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's doing a great job. Thank you, Dave. Dave Ravenstone, the show's producer. All right, where are we off to? We're off to an international destination now?
Absolutely.
And one that you know well.
Yeah. So we're off to one of my favorite spots in the world, and that is Phi Phi Island in Thailand. So I spent a bit of time on that island. I think about 1,000 dives on that island, working. So a lot of people, I get a lot of questions. Even this evening, I got a question about we want to go to Thailand and when is a good time. The answer to when is a good time for Thailand is any time, depending on where you want to go. So Thailand doesn't have a winter and a summer, so you're not going to have a cold day, but they do have monsoon season. And so monsoon season is generally April to October, and that is when the wind blows from the west. So anywhere on the west side of Thailand gets wind, and it's a constant wind, and it picks up waves, and it makes the ocean a little choppy. So it doesn't mean it's not a good holiday. It's when all the specials are. Courtney and Dagan were off there April last year in that time, and they had great weather. So Phi Phi Island is an island that sits on the west coast of Thailand, close to Phuket Island. It's a 2-hour ferry ride, and it is an all year round destination, and especially for diving. They have fantastic, phenomenal diving off Phi Phi Island. Probably, I think, the best in Thailand. So
what makes it so great?
Oh, Tom, there's 6 islands that make up Phi Phi Island, and the 2 southern islands, Koh Bidanok, Koh Bidanai, are 2 small islands, lots of walls, and it's just phenomenal. Thousands and thousands of fish, everything from seahorses to little black-tip reef sharks. I've seen whale shark, turtles, leopard sharks. I mean, absolutely everything is there. So, and as well as that is it's islands that shelter themselves, if that makes sense. So if you got a bit of a wind that day coming from the west, even in monsoon season, you shelter on the east side of the island and you can do fantastic dives. So Phi Phi Island itself is an island that you can stay on. So a lot of people who visit Phuket would stay on Phuket and do a day trip out to Phi Phi Island. There's not much you're going to see. It's just not enough time. You get about an hour on this island, and Phi Phi Island is a party island. Every night is Saturday night on Phi Phi Island, which was great to work there. I worked there for 18 months, and like I said, every night is Saturday night. There are times you need to pick your times when you dive there. Being a tidal, a shallow area, the tides make a big difference to the conditions you dive in. So don't dive when it's full moon. Try be a week before, a week after, or when the moon is at its smallest. That's the best time to dive Phi Phi Island. But the island itself, even if you're not a party animal and you don't want to go partying, there's a lot of resorts that are on the outskirts. When I say on the outskirts, there are no roads on Phi Phi Island, there are no cars, there's no motorbikes, it's just walkways, and it is kilometers of walkways. So if you don't want to be in the noise and the hustle and the bustle, then you can just be 10 minutes walk away. A lot of resorts, just 10 minutes out, calm, peaceful, the most incredible views, flat seas. And from there you walk in for your dinners, you walk into the dive stores. And if you're not a diver, there's phenomenal snorkeling, there's sunset trips. It is the tropical island that you want to visit.
What makes it so great? Is there one thing that makes it fantastic?
Oh wow!
Diving.
There's many things. Even if you're not a diver, just the Thai cuisine. I mean, Thai food is just awesome, and it's cheap. It's a very affordable holiday. We went as a group last year, and we split our holiday between Phuket and Phi Phi. And I was a little worried that taking a group there, people would get bored on Phi Phi, thinking 5 days was too long. But everyone who came back with us said that they would have done the whole holiday there. So I think what makes it special is once you arrive and you check in, there's no rush. There is no taxis, no cars, no motorbikes. You're not getting hassled like tourists as much as in other parts of Thailand. And so you just you just relax.
So these two behind you have dived PP.
Oh,
Yeah.
Courtney's
Courtney learned to swim in PP.
absolutely Courtney's first dive ever when she was 8 years old, bubble maker on PP Island, and has been back a couple of times to dive there.
Last time with Dagan. How was it, Dagan? Did you enjoy
It was
it?
incredible.
Yeah. Last 2 times we went there together. Awesome experience.
And you dived PP, Monet?
Yes, I've been to Thailand and I can vouch for what Greg's saying. You know, I think what stood out for me, besides diving, because that's kind of why I went, is that the Thai people have really got this whole kind of tourism thing waxed.
Okay.
You get there, as Greg said, you feel, you know, welcome. And I think your money goes a long way there, and it's just great. You know, diving, great food, a bit of trade if you like. You know, so yeah,
Nice.
all in one destination.
So we say hello to our friends on PP Island and scuba divers who've dived PP
Yeah.
before.
Yeah.
PP Island is our world destination this evening. What's up next?
Well, I just having a look who's joining us on Facebook,
Yes.
and just one name came up, Quentin de Boer. I saw today he qualified a number of instructor trainers for NAUI, so
Wow, yeah.
congratulations there. That is a big milestone for those instructors, and we hope that they contribute to our industry. Grant Smaller, my old dive buddy, hello, in America.
Danielle Pavan has joined us. Ayanda Dube says
Yes.
hello.
Yaku from Cape Town.
Yeah. Hayden Busarello.
Yes.
That's our friend.
Oh, you've got a friend on board this evening. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Brian in Nelspruit.
How's it,
We
Brian?
need to talk. We need to dive.
Susan DeSantos says, good evening, everyone. I just want to say a big thank you to Dan
Yeah.
for all the fantastic work. So you're getting a great
well,
endorsement
thanks.
here that you do. I greatly appreciate all the services they provide to fellow divers all over the world. Thank you, Dan.
Absolute
Says Susan
pleasure, yeah.
DeSantos.
Yeah.
And you're welcome to comment. Put your comments and questions in the comment section below the video while the show is running live, or post. You know, many people watch the show a day later or later on in the evening, and you can still pop a comment there. We'll still receive it. We'll still answer it. So your comments are welcome at any time, even after the broadcast you watch in a week from now. It's all good. We appreciate the view. Right, eco updates. Is that where we go to next?
There we go.
We're steaming through the show tonight.
I might get a little emotional on this one.
Okay.
There's so many things we can talk about when it comes to the ecology of the oceans. And to me, one of the most important factors, not just to me, but to many people, is our apex predators, and that's sharks. So I know a lot of non-divers hear the word shark and they go, oh my word, there's sharks in the water, and they're scared. But the reality is there's over 440 species of sharks in the ocean, and we are destroying them. We're taking them out the ocean at a rate that is not sustainable. So that's what I'd like to talk about tonight. So there's a phenomenon going on in China as industry grows and wealth grows, the problem gets bigger. So you've got pictures there of shark fin soup, and so shark fin soup is a delicacy, in China, and it is that dish that shows wealth. If you're wealthy, you have shark fin soup at weddings and events, and that shows that you're well off. And it's driving a massive culling of sharks in our ocean, and sharks are the apex predators. I think you're showing a picture there of thousands of shark fins, and if you look at that photo, you can imagine each one of those fins is a shark. And we don't have exact numbers of how many sharks are being killed every year for shark finning, but it's in the region of up to 70 million sharks.
And is it only the fins being used?
Well, that's one of the problems from a sustainability point of view. Is the fins have a very high value, like rhino horn. They've got a very high value. So what's happening is the sharks are being caught, the fins are being cut off while they're alive, and they've been thrown back in the water. And then most sharks need movement to get air through the gills, and so what's happening is they die. So if we look at the ocean as an ecosystem, they are our top predators. And so what happens is, and they have a function, their function isn't just to munch a couple of surfers every now and again. Their function is to keep the balance. So our apex predators are taken out of the ocean, which allows the smaller carnivores to thrive. And those smaller carnivores then eat the herbivores and so on, and it just throws the whole the whole ecosystem out of balance. And it's not sustainable. Of the 440 species of shark out there, there are so many that are facing extinction. And there are many that are critically endangered. And the crazy part and the sad part is we actually don't have enough numbers. There's not enough research in this to know how bad the situation is. We can only tell you that the situation is dire. If you look at the pictures of thousands and thousands of fins being dried, and it's happening all over the world, you know. And unfortunately, what's happening is you get in, let's say Mozambique. I was diving a reef off Berlin, which is not a common dive spot. So we were exploring, and we were having amazing dives on a fantastic reef, and we came across a shark with dead on the bottom with no fins, and that's in the middle of nowhere, Tom. It's hundreds of kilometers from any big city, but the reach is there. We've seen it on so many of the islands that we dive on. The sharks just been pulled out of the water, and then it goes further. It goes onto the rays as well. And you know, sharks aren't some of our fish like tuna, they got controls going and so on, but sharks have got a much later maturity rate. They take many more years to reach maturity, to a point that they can breed, and they just the shark population is not getting enough time to repopulate. And like rhinos and tigers and many other animals.
Seeing these estimates, 26 to 73 million sharks killed every year.
73 million sharks killed every year. The numbers are absolutely staggering. And there's not much we can do. You know, CITES every year we've been able to get a few sharks species protected. And there's a big drive on, but the drive has to happen in China, in Vietnam, and so on. To educate people that if you keep doing this and you keep eating shark fins, soon there will be no more sharks. And if we take the sharks out, like we spoke about last week about the corals ecosystems, we throw that out of balance, and maybe in enough time we won't be left on this planet. So something close to most divers' hearts.
Yeah, you triggered some memories from the past when I used to live and work in the dive industry in Mozambique. For quite some time in Inhambane, we had those big kind of trawlers come right close to the shallow reefs, and you'd go dive and you'd actually see dead devil rays, turtles on the dive. It was very sad, and just kind of breaks your heart. And
terrible.
You can't do anything.
And because to a lot of non-divers, a lot of people that don't really know the ocean, sharks are seen as bad and evil. You know, we haven't recovered from the 70s when the movie Jaws came out. And sharks are seen as evil, and when sharks are seen as evil, there's not as much will to work at it. But like I said, of 440 species of shark, only 2 or 3 of them are really involved in any type of attacks that happen around the world, and those numbers are relatively small. You know, more people, and this is very cliched, die falling off chairs each year or each month of the year then get attacked by sharks. Toasters are far more dangerous, but coconuts too.
So here's some of the comments coming in. Stellasaurus Phoenicax says, very interesting show, thank you. I know Stella, I don't think she's a scuba diver, but hey, if she's watching now, you never know, we might get you under the water someday, Stella. Jaco Swanepoel says, I'll never forget my first encounter with sharks while diving. It was really amazing. What do you feel when you're under the water and you encounter a shark? So I'd feel an extreme tightening in a certain region of my body, but
it's a kind of brown.
I have to go back over 20 years to recall that, but I think the first thing that happens is your heart rate picks up.
Oh, okay. So especially there's an adrenaline spike.
Especially if your first shark is a ragged-tooth shark of Alawal Shoal, and it's big, it's 2 meters, and it's got a lot of teeth, and so on. But definitely, recently I did a baited shark dive off Alawal where I had to jump in alone into the water, and there were 40-odd sharks in there, and you're thinking this is crazy. But you realize very soon that you are not their prey, and they are more scared of you than you of them. And it's just phenomenal. You know, most divers who take in the water, that is their biggest fear. And in the moment they've seen that first shark, that fear goes away, and they want to see more.
Martha Swanepoel says, hey guys, I'm from Limpopo, far north of South Africa. How's it, Martha?
Hey.
I make time once a year to dive with sharks at Umkomaas.
Oh, it's fantastic.
So Greg, I mean, you know, with all the diving and the sharks, I think it just goes a long way to say, you know, as a diver, if you haven't done sort of a shark speciality course, it's great because you can address some of those fears, I guess. And then you also get to know not just about the sharks, but their body language, what, you know, how to anticipate their movements. And then it becomes, I guess, more memorable and enjoyable diving with these kind of predators and sharks in general.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, maybe if you are a diver, start diving now so that you can see them, because I don't know, 10, 15, 20 years from now, you may not have the opportunities. I mean, even though we were talking about Thailand earlier, we had a site we called Shark Point, and that was because every time we dived there, we got to drop down and see leopard sharks. Leopard shark, 1.5 to 2 meter shark, part of similar to a nurse shark, so of no danger to humans. But year on year, as we've gone back, there's less and less, and the sightings are less, and it's because they've just been taken out. Yeah.
Well, maybe one way we can help is to join, you know, international local shark conservation groups, you know, to help spread that word. I don't know if it's still around, but we used to have a group here in South Africa. Once a year, it's paddle out for sharks, I think it was, something like that.
Yeah,
you get out and...
that was happening at Unkumaz as well.
Well, we're going to continue highlighting it on this show, and I'm sure we'll come up with some kind of initiative or program as we go along. Well, we're almost out of time.
It's been great.
50 minutes has gone quite quickly. Have you enjoyed yourself, Morné?
Absolutely,
I hope you have. You've made the show tonight. I mean, if it wasn't for you, I think we would have just done shark fin soup, and that would have been the end of it. Thank you, Morné. Before we say goodbye, though, we've got a gear review. Where did we go?
Yeah, we've got a gear review. So we went and surprised Gavin at Aqualung and Apex, and we put him on the spot, and we had him show us a BCD. So let's roll the tape.
Here we go.
Welcome everybody to our product review. I'm here with Dagan and Gavin, and we are at Aqualung and Apex, and we have got some exciting new stuff to show you.
Hey folks, here we've got our 2019 Rogue BC based on the Outlaw BC from previous years. It's just been upgraded with a couple of new features.
So Gavin, the first thing I noticed about this BCD, that it's very slim and it looks pretty streamlined. Is there a reason for that?
Yes, it's actually been designed and targeted to the diver that's wanting a minimalist approach and with ultra streamlined features.
So tell me, I don't see anywhere for the weights to go. Where does that fit in?
Yes, the Rogue actually